Hello everybody, just made a quick video, making a quick video about how best to use your protractor, just as a reminder for you for when you're not in class or if you happen to have missed the lesson about how best to use your protractor. Special thank you to Cooper, who has loaned me his protractor without even knowing it, so thank you Cooper, I really appreciate it. Alrighty, a couple of common errors, well firstly what you need to do is to have a look at your protractor, and you can see that most protractors will have a crosshair, which is like where that cross is right there. That bit's really important. And also you can see that there actually are two sets of numbers, the inside set and then the outside set. And that's important because it will affect whether you get it right or not based on which set of numbers you choose. But basically the rule is you should always start from the 0 and count up from there, just as we would normally. So make sure that you double check that as you're measuring your angles. Okay, to start with, you place the crosshairs at the vertex of the angle, okay? And then of course that base arm there needs to go right across the line of the protractor. So common mistake is that people actually use the edge of the plastic of the protractor instead, and you can see that that's going to be a different angle to if you measure it correctly like that. Okay, so just think crosshairs of the protractor. Okay, so it could either be 64, it's right in between, isn't it? 64, 65 let's call it, or it could be 115. So which one is it? Well, we need to use the inside set of numbers this time because we go from 0, because we've measured an angle on this side. Okay, if I was going to measure an angle at the other side, I would start from the outside set because the 0 is over there. Okay, now because I've chosen this side to start with, I'm going to go from this 0. So counting up, you can see that it gets to 60, and then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. Okay, so 66 degrees, and I would usually write that in, write that in there, or if there was like a line over here where it said write the answer, you could write it in there as well. Don't forget the degrees sign. Okay, that's important. So the other common error that I see is that you can extend the line out of the angle. So say if your line only went to here when you were measuring, it's difficult to guess. So make sure that you just draw the line out a bit longer if you need to, so you can get an accurate measure. Alright, let's do a couple more examples really quickly. This one is not sort of nicely arranged on the page, so I can just turn my protractor this way, crosshairs, line along the bottom there, and then I count up. So as you can see here, my line doesn't quite reach to where I can measure easily. So all I do is I carefully and accurately make that line a little bit longer. Crosshairs. Now I can easily see 0, 10, 20, let's say 25 degrees. Okay, one more. Okay, here we go. So that's an acute angle as well. That one I just measured. This one you can see is going to be greater than 90 degrees, and so it's going to be an obtuse angle here. So crosshairs. Okay, line along there. As you can see, my line here is not long enough, so I'm going to make it a bit longer just to make it easier on myself. Doesn't change the size of the angle when you do that, so that's fine. Crosshairs carefully along the line. Alright, now I'm going from this side again just by chance, because that's where this line starts at 0 as opposed to 180, 10, 20, 30, all the way up. 120, 122 degrees. Okay, so just remember, vertex of the angle on the crosshairs, make sure your line's long enough, and going from the 0 on either side depending on which way you're measuring it. Okay, always start at the 0. Good luck.